Hi, I'm Lucia, and this is my farm in Hawaii. My husband, my daughter, and I have all lived here for about the last 10 years. We are up at 4,000 feet, which is a little different climate from the rest of the Hawaiian Islands, other than the Big Island that can reproduce some of the weather we've got here. We grow different things up here. We grow things you're familiar with. We grow a lot of root vegetables. We grow different things. Also, we've discovered anything that came from South Africa or Australia grows really well here. Originally, this was a Protea farm, which is wacky, big flower. You either find them in South Africa or Australia. I'll show some of you those later on. We are an organic farm up here, and we do different things. We've gone from being pretty big to small, and now we're back at sort of a transitional stage. We're in between. And I'd like to show you some of the different things we're growing here. We'll walk over to some places where we're growing some things. Here's an olive tree, and then we've got lots of terraces with lots of olives. And then over here, we have a couple of terraces. Level ground is an issue for us here at 4,000 feet down to 3,600. We've got a couple fields we've planted. This one has Three Sisters combination, we call it. It's squash and corn and beans. We do companion planting here. Down below, we have onions and tomato plants. They also like to grow together. And that's our first section. And this here is another area we grow in. We've created these beds that are about 8 by 20 feet, which is a good size to work in. You can reach in, you can get at everything pretty easily, and you can really grow a lot of stuff in here. For a family, one of these would probably be plenty to do everything you need. We are growing for more than just our family. And we usually plant things very tight so that there's not really a lot of space for the weeds. We grow carrots, radishes, turnips, a lot of greens. Here's radicchio, celeriac. We also grow squash in the summertime, but we can do a lot of root vegetables. We grow the things nobody else does in Hawaii, all the more cold weather type crops. And we're down now in our Proteas. This was originally a flower farm, and we had a lot of Proteas down here. Not so many now. We have maybe 4 acres down here. And this isn't their season, so there's not a lot to show you, although there's still some things blooming. I'll show you when we get up to the house. They tend to get quite large. I think of them sometimes as lilac bushes, very woody. The more you cut them, the more they like it, though they are wild flowers. You never fertilize them, you don't do anything to them. They either like your climate or they don't. Mostly they really like our climate. We have had wonderful success with our Proteas. And before we leave the Proteas, here's some newly planted ones. These were grown from seed. They're really tricky to germinate, can take 6 months to a year. These have about doubled in size since I put them in the ground. This is one, I don't know a common name for it. The Latin is coccinea. They are just wild. I'll show you some when we get up to the house. Red, funny things. All these flowers dry just about as well as they look when they're fresh, although they have wonderful, brilliant color when they're fresh. And they're used for wreaths, bouquets, dried flowers, lots of things. And I'd like you to meet our girls here, the hens. We have chickens. We love our chickens. And my husband Mark has just built a beautiful new chicken coop. They should be pretty happy. They have a nice range here. They eat everything we do after we've eaten it. Our compost goes right through our chickens. And we love the fresh eggs. These are Aracanas, which are from South America. They're curious and tame. They're pretty good pets, and pets that produce food, not a bad idea. And we have here, as part of our chicken coop, we have a couple nests, so we got a few eggs already today. And when the food's in here, so all the birds in Hawaii don't partake, which has been very helpful to us. And a couple samples of eggs. And I'll show you an important part of our operation, which is our greenhouse. We have discovered that it works better for us to seed plants and not seed them directly into the field. So we start everything with these little soil blocks. and let them grow here until they're ready, and then we can just drop the soil blocks right into the ground. You're looking at some radicchio, some melons, asparagus, onions, leeks, and all these things will grow here for about 4 to 6 weeks, some longer. The rhubarb's been there a while, the artichokes have been there for a while, and then we'll put them in their place. All right, I said I'd show you some proteas, and here some are. These are kings here, great big artichoke-like flowers. Sometimes they get as big as a dinner plate, but a lot of variability. There's some that are quite petite, but I don't have any examples of that because this really isn't the right season. Another time I could show you a whole lot more things, but these are interesting. And then we get the pincushion family. Here's a yellow pincushion that has hot pink tips, and they're very sweet, sort of like ribbons, satin between them. And lots of different varieties. They're all gorgeous. Oh, I showed you those new plants that we had just planted, coccinnias. This is a coccinnia. Pretty funny. They're great in wreaths. They come due in their season just about Christmas. They're great in wreaths, all kinds of flower arrangements. Wherever you want something a little different, coccinnias are good. And we have a lot more odd ones that we don't have right now in flower. Here's one that hasn't opened up. Here's one that's all opened up. So they're just really fun. I really enjoy them. And that's kind of it for our tour. That's what I wanted to show you today. Thank you for coming, and aloha.